Let's get our asses out of here. Actually, let's check this way first. This wraps around to where we've been before. So we'll double check there's no items in here. Nope. Just loops back around. And yep, the coral comes back. I stopped to have dinner. And I closed the game because it makes my fans run really loud and heats up my entire room. So I thought, oh, I'll cool things down. But I have thus confirmed that all of the coral will respawn. So we're not going to get any confirmation via coral of where I have and haven't been, unfortunately. Ow! So this entire chunk is new because that's where the coral used to cut off. That's the other side of the boat graveyard though, so I've already been over there. I can take a look to see if there's anything else there. But overall, like, we've been in that zone. Yeah. There's just coral like on the other side. And this takes me back to where we were before. Over there's the big Titan guy that I couldn't beat yet. So overall, we've been all over this place. They really committed to there being a very solid wall of coral here. Very straight, linear, solid wall too. Like, unnaturally so. I wonder if they had a more natural pattern at one point, but then we're like, okay, well, it has to be really it has to be playtest proof. Like, playtest proof doesn't really make sense in a sense. But I'm saying that they probably playtested it, and like people kept finding a way through. So they're like, okay, just make a straight fucking line. Just make it perfect. Even though nature's not perfect. And they're immediately hitting... Oh, so these rocks look really weird at the scale. These looks like rocks that I'm familiar with, but I'm not used to them looking like that at that scale. They look weird. It looks like this island's completely encased in rock. So shortly after giving me this barrier, they're once again hitting me with another thing that I can't actually reach. Which is essentially organically introducing the next objective. Or the next obstacle. So there's clearly places I can't reach until I probably gain the ability to fly, which would make sense because our original goal with this guy was for him to fly us, or for them to fly us to the Paintress or something. We also get the ability to go underwater at some point. So at some point we'll get to swim around underwater, and then we'll get to swim. Then we'll get to fly around. Which is a lot of backtracking, honestly. That's a lot of separate powers that then encourage you to re-explore the entire map again. That's probably a chromatic. Oh boy. Oh boy! Who do we got in our party? Mael, Monaco, and CL. Just gotta believe in myself. How hard is their parry pattern gonna be? Chromatic Reaper Cultist. Whoa! Jeez. Okay. Not used to seeing a chromatic that has weak spots like that. So they're floating, right? So I have to just keep shooting them? I don't think my attacks are gonna work. Why does CL only have 300 health? Oh, they have a debuff. Took a moment to figure out what the timing of that was. That's weird timing. So I can buff the party or heal the party, but aside from that, it's mostly a waste of time. To do anything else.
Time to read.
Wait, the attack landed? I thought they were flying. Well, there we go. Had to stop for a moment. I believe that when somebody's flying, they just have a high chance of dodging, which is not guaranteed, obviously. So that makes sense, I guess. They don't have that much health, thankfully. Maybe because they expect all the attacks to miss. Yeah. I don't know if any of these attacks would count as something that would hit, unfortunately. But Parasitoes only cost 2, so let's spend 7. And then see if it hits just on a lark. Nope. Well, it would have been strong. If this is their whole health bar, this is a really unusually easy to kill chromatic enemy. It's very surreal to have it go this quickly. They died of fire! 63,000 experience? 2 resplendent chroma? What? Oh, that's weird. That's so weird how easy that was. They're never that easy.
Expedition 43. Sabine. That damn snake destroyed all our submarines in a matter of minutes. And now we're stuck with no equipment, no food, no water, nothing. No way to get off this island, and no way to kill that bloody serpent. Putain, the Paintress must be laughing. Diverting the resources of the entire engineering and defense divisions to construct those subs. And mad, all the people who trusted our vision and volunteered their lives. If we die stranded on this tiny island after everything we went through to get here, my ghost will haunt her blasted monolith and this island and that stupid snake for all time. Merde!
No way to get out this island, no way to kill the serpent. Where is the serpent then? That wasn't that many expeditions ago either. We've heard multiple references to there being a great serpent. It sounds like their vehicles all got obliterated and they got trapped on this little island here. All because of the great serpent. I always wonder what the scale of these places are, because this place definitely feels like it's a bigger island than it looks visually. It like visually resembles a much larger island than like the scale of our characters would suggest. Because like a lot of JRPGs are about, you know, you're walking around on like a representative map, and I wonder how much that applies here. So I don't know how big the island that is, but they're definitely trapped. So that's rough. All that preparation, all to just get obliterated by like a kaiju. Destroys all their vehicles and they're just stuck there. I assume the issue is that they were going to be attacked by the serpent if they tried to leave, and that's why they were stuck. But that raises the question of how I'm just walking right up like it's nothing, and I'm not being stopped by a serpent at all. So it either moved on, or somebody killed it at some point, one of the other expeditions. But there is like a big thing in the sky sometimes, like a dragon or something. Like an Eastern-style dragon. Is that meant to be the serpent? Because that's like a serpent. In which case, what's it up to? This really suggests that I get flying at some point, because this is a solid mountain range completely cutting this off, but it's clearly a piece of level right here. So you probably go down all the way over there when you fly. Did all of this grow back again? Or is this a different barrier? Is that where I am? Is this just another barrier? No, this is the barrier from earlier. Yeah, I think it all regrew just from me going away a little bit, not even leaving the zone or anything. So they're not wasting energy on preserving the continuity of that stuff. Fastest swimmer. Was there any coral down south at all? No. So it's just the two sides of this place. So that was already the majority of what the coral was cutting me off from doing. I'll check out the left side later. But I guess let's go in there to the, let's go visit the gestural hideout. Amongst the basalt columns. Look how dense and small the original map was back when we didn't have that much movement speed. It like it does like slightly nullify the benefits of increased movement speed when the map then gets bigger to compensate. But you get to keep feeling like you keep getting faster and keep moving more. So there are 2 different fights that I'd be curious to see if I can handle now. Didn't hit rest. There's the back to continents button. 6 points. But I'm working towards this, aren't I? Do 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 do. Who's the idealiest of them all? I try to remember how it worked. I feel like he just stood there and waited for you to attack him. So it'd kind of come down to who can self-buff or become the strongest and then do a big hit. The most strongly attack of all. I'm trying to remember what I did before. I think I was playing... Yeah, I think last time I tried to do the big fight, I did it as Gustav, and I charged up his overdrive thingy and blew up on the enemy and hoped that that would do enough. And I don't think it's enough. Someone like Luna, let's see. Gives plus light, consumes 3 fire. So if you can get 4 stains and then spend all of them, you might get a really strong bit of mayhem damage, and that might be strong enough. And then you have to hope that the roulette dice roll makes it twice as strong to make it 999. My problem with revitalization is that I want to cast revitalization over and over again with the hopes that I can then have 4 stains for mayhem, but it consumes 3 fire in order to apply regen. I think that that might consume 3 light, because light, I think light is the one that can be used as a stand-in for any element, right? Like a wild card. So that means I probably can't reach 4, unless she has a different buff I can equip. Thermal transfer does damage. It has to specifically not do damage. Healing light also gives me... This is a cheaper way of getting light, but it consumes 2 earth in order to be free. Unfortunately, I don't think I can reach 4 light without casting heal. Or, I don't think I can reach 4 stains without using an attack, and a single attack would end the fight. can break. This is my big breaker. Some of these things are a little too dependent on me being in Virtuosa stance, which I won't be. And some of these require being having the enemy be marked, which I also won't be able to do. Chalier combo. Hi, this does do a lot of damage. I could give him an AP potion. %5 increased damage per turn. I can just stall for 5 turns till it's as strong as it can get. And then where is time tint? No. Where's the gradient one? Oh, first hit dealt or and taken deals 50% more damage. That's some good damage. No, wrong gradient wet skill. It used to be a high level skill, but I think I've gotten a lot of skills and also upgraded a lot of them. So it's not as immediately apparent where this one is. I should just look at you. Aren't you equipping it right now? Inverted Affinity. It is level 8. Okay, 50% increased damage while inverted. First hit dealt and taken deals 50% more damage. 5% increased damage per turn. So stall for 5 turns and then do the big hit. Go over to the Pictos and make sure that I have Roulette equipped, because that can also double my damage. At that point, it's just like enough multipliers that I should be able to do it. First hit damage and taken does. Solidifying. That's a low health one. Yeah, I like that. I don't want to give more people that. Oh, there's Roulette. Okay, so that's equipped. I don't think I want to try to make it work as a basic attack. Alphabetical, point cost, active favorites. Point cost maybe? I don't think I can get my own health below 10%. 50% increased damage on your first hit once per battle. That'll currently help. I don't know if I want that on the long term, but it's good for what we're doing right now. Gain powerful if fighting alone. 100% critical chance of fighting alone. Deal 50% more damage when fighting alone. That's a decent start. I'm not sure if he has the best abilities ever for this kind of thing, but we're higher level, and I have a lot of effects that'll stack that it might not matter if I might not have the best ability ever for this. Next question is, where the fuck was this guy? It's a big town. Turn back. Is this him? Oh, that's just the door. He's in a different dead end. Damn it. The unbearable smell. Is this place ever gonna open? I hope he's in this town and I'm not misremembering that part. It might be worth just looking it up. Just so I can know. Is he down here? Rules are simple. You get one hit. If you do 99 damage, you win a prize. But remember, once you hit me, the battle's over, so make it count. Yes! Oh. Okay. So I may have forgotten that you did it as a party. Uh-huh. All right. Didn't plan on you guys being here. Oh. That's actually not that far off. That actually might not be that hard. I can fix this. I was like, okay, I was starting to think about like, oh, how do I plan my buffs and whatnot, then I remembered like, oh, right, I want him alone in order for the other buffs to apply, so let's get him alone. Alright, so he can cast anything he wants to now. Damage, 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 damage. AP for my allies damage. Okay, so probably do Chalier combo because that's that. But we'll find out the hard way if maybe the multiple hits is bad. But I can use Pochia energy to rotate the wheel and land on a different element if I need to. If I really need to do a different attack. But first we'll just try this one. But it's time to fight. Fight again. But we're gonna skip a few turns. So that's turn like 4, turn 5, I don't know, turn 6 or something. I said warm up times 2. Maybe it finished charging up warm up. I don't know. It's I can't clearly tell how it works. Let's just find out if this counts or not. Yeah. Oh god. Oh god. I didn't even press the. Wow. You failed, you weakling. Eon. Wait. Was that it? What? You win a prize. You do 999 damage. Yeah. I did it. Didn't I? I did 999 damage over and over again. Oh, if I wait too long, I become... I stop being inverted. Which makes me do less damage. Probably. Not that it mattered. I don't know how long inversion lasts. Is it over, actually? I think it might be over already. Ah. Those two things are at odds with each other, I guess. Why did it say I failed? I almost feel like I need to Google if this is a bug. But we'll try again. Okay, so I did 9999 like 3 or 4 times. Congratulations, nobody has ever hit me like that before. Did it? I think it might be, if I were to guess, it might be misprogrammed. and it might be set up so that it checks that you... It might say... I think the programming might be, if he gets hit, end fight after that action's over. But then after the fight is over, it then says, check most recent damage taken, and checks that value. And I think in the first combo, the last hit might have not been 9999, so I thought I failed, and it didn't account for any of the other 99999s. I keep saying the wrong number 9s. That's my guess, but I'm not sure. It's just weird that did that. But this time I did, in like a 5 or 6 hit combo, I think it's 6. I think I did 9999 4 times, including the first hit and the last hit. And so this time it passed. You got it, champion. Here for my personal collection. It's just a sack of patate skill that I don't want. Or sack of patate clothing I don't want. Well, oh hey, it's that stuff. At least I can say I did it now. Or there's potentially so many spots where this thing is around.
Well, that will help.
Ooh, level 12 Battilium. Battilium. Man. I might have to... I genuinely am tempted to look up a guide of all of the spots that one of those has existed up till now. Just to quickly go back and do them all without wandering around for 6 hours. Somebody around here wanted me to like gather stuff as I went, but I don't remember because I haven't been around this town for a while. Either way, I should swap out your stuff to make more sense. Ayel, Monobada. Get stronger every turn, can be fun against any particular boss fight, really. Damage taken to nope. Yeah, 50% increased damage while inverted, but you can't get healed is a little scary. But also fairly strong. This doubles with not being able to get healed, but you take less damage. I wish there was a color scheme here that told you whether or not you currently have a skill equipped on the right. I think it highlights it on the right, but it'd be nice if just the skills on the left had like blue names or something to indicate which ones you already have equipped on the right. Therefore, it's not worth equipping manually, because unless you really need to free up those points. Because you'd be otherwise better off just equipping something new. +1 AP on parry, but damage received is doubled. In addition to the other parry, that becomes 3 AP on parry if you equip both, but yeah, it's a little wild that this is +1 AP on parry, but damage received is doubled, and this other one is just +1 AP on parry. It says successful. I don't think that added word means anything in this context, though. It just happens to say that. That's weird, right? That one of those is just way stronger? I guess perilous parry, yeah, it's cheaper. It costs 10 less points, which is helpful, but weird. If you equip all 3 of them at once, or both of them at once, along with something else, you'd be able to get 3 AP on every parry, which is insane, but also like useless, right? At some point, because many enemies multi-hit, and at some point you're just like, what am I even accomplishing anymore? Because you cap out at 9, so only 3 parries would fill up your entire meter. Maybe if you're casting extremely expensive skills every turn. There's some skills that I think cost 9, in which case doing that might technically help. Energizing parry. I feel like somebody was wanting me to come back with things I found, but I don't remember who. the creepy one. You found more writings. Excellent. Excellent. Oh, Jesus. 20 more Lumina. 20 more again? Oh, God. Oh, he rewards me for every record I found. 3? Did he just give me 60 skill? Oh, my God. Give me 8 more and I'll reward you greatly. So every milestone you reach, he then gives you 20? Oh, my God. I just got so many. What the hell, man? Alright, let's see if I can beat this fight or not. After a lot of the other shit I've dealt with, I feel like they've got to be like, not that... They can't be as tough as some of the other shit I've dealt with. Really? A duel? You have a death wish? Oh, it's one-on-one. Well... I'll just send someone in. I don't really feel like respecking them right now. This will be fun, but easy. So I was wrong about which one was one-on-one. Oh! I'm fucked. Okay, I give up. I give up. It's fine. Yeah, and they still do comical amounts of damage. You have to play perfectly to get through that fight. Did I know? Did she do gradient attacks before? Did she originally do gradient attacks? Did I just not have a context for that attack yet back then? And how cool it looked or whatever? And I just thought it would just look like that? I don't know. But yeah, I do 999 damage, no problem. And it's not even visible how much damage I did to her. So she has a fucking comical amount of health. Just genuinely, like, Game Shark numbers. Like, fucking... Might as well not even be in the same universe as each other. Nonsense. So I can go ahead and give up on that for a long time. Because until I learn how to do more than 9999 damage, it's just not worth it. If that is even a thing in the game. I assume it is, because we're increasingly hitting a point where our damage cap per hit is just not that much damage. Like, it's genuinely makes me feel weak all the time. So you would think that at some point we get past that. Got some more resplendent chroma. Ballard. Oh. He got a second weapon and this one's level 14. I might switch to it just for that reason. Yeah, it's like twice as strong. Start at balanced mask. Balanced mask applies powerful for 3 turns. Critical hits deal 30% more damage while in balanced mask. The powerful for 3 turns is nice, so he gets strong at the beginning for 3. So if I wanted to do my best, I definitely wanted to attack as fast as possible, but like maybe get 2 charges of my 5% per turn. But I was getting powerful from balanced mask, and I was getting the inverted bonus. So those are definitely stronger than the 5% per turn. Reverse the wheel order. I don't even know what the benefit of that is. Using an upgraded skill gives 1 AP to all other allies. Huh. Also, that's almost my name. Ballard. Huh? Almighty Mask gives 2 AP to all allies. I don't think the second thing applies, but I do feel like a weapon being twice as powerful is better than getting powerful. The powerful effect is probably weaker than this weapon being twice as strong. So I should probably use Ballard. But also it's so strong that I don't really need to upgrade it, I don't think. Double gradient generation. Stay alone. So many skills. Applied burn on self on turn start. 10% increased damage for each self burn stack. Oh. Base attack applies 2 burn. When defensive stance receive heal instead of burn damage. So defensive stance will make you get healed by the burn. Interesting. I don't know if I want to deal with that mess necessarily, but interesting weapon. Lodom. Perfection's now based on current health. Gain 1 rank every 20% missing health. Oh. Oh. You get stronger when you're low on health. People who play around those mechanics are insane. There is a bit of an acing. I know that we were Gustav earlier and that he had the same weapon category, but it's getting a little out of hand how this guy has 500 weapons and he has 2. Just feeling a little limited right now. I got Betelim a second ago. Using a skill that consumes stains, increases damage by 20%, can stack up to 5 times. Resets on using a skill without consuming stains. So that means you always have to be using a thing that not only consumes a stain, but also replaces it with a new stain. Which I think is every skill, basically. I think they all make stains. But you have to always be selecting your next skill around increasing that. That is admittedly very strong, but you have to have a pre-planned loop. You have to cast those spells in the specific order over and over again. But the fact that it reaches 100% increased damage is admittedly really strong. That's intimidating. It might be worth considering that. One burn for every 3 foretell applied. Can consume 1 moon charge on turn. I don't know how to compare these weapons for this character. They're kind of wild. Killing an enemy with foretell applies its foretell with another random enemy. That isn't interesting. Like, oh, if you kill somebody with foretell, that means that the stacks you were generating move, so you didn't waste them at least, which is nice. That's like some neat efficiency there. I don't know if it's for you or everyone though. Like, who kills the enemy that has foretell? Which person? Like obviously you. If CL kills somebody, it reapplies it. But if somebody else kills that enemy, they don't have this weapon equipped. So does that mean that they still waste it? Because that seems hard to maintain. It'd be really cool if I could not waste my foretell by having it always be on somebody, but I feel like somebody else is going to kill the enemy, especially with how often she takes more of a supporting role. I'm tempted to upgrade Mael's weapon just because I'm stressed out about the choices for everybody else, and just keep making her strong, which isn't the most unreasonable thing, but I'm slightly nervous that I might change weapons on these other characters instead of sticking with the current one. And that makes me afraid to spend points on them, because what if I stop using that weapon? I'm going to switch to Ballard probably. Let's just do this for now. Especially when I'm exploring right now, I'm worried that if I go around and pick up all these secrets from the earlier, that I might then find a better weapon for somebody. And then... oh god. They gave me so many. God. The fact that they gave me like 60 is wild. I'm glad I came back. I forgot about that guy until I was in town and was like, hang on a minute, I remember this guy. Now I gotta spend all these. Everyone has at least 10 or 15 more points to spend now. Sort by point cost? Yeah, bonus AP on parry is pretty good. Does anyone not have that? She can't afford that. How? You probably have something stupid that I don't want to have anyway. Plus 2 AP on dealing damage to a marked target once per turn. That's not bad because I'm often marking people specifically for her. They increase damage. Oh, that's equipped right now. Not fighting alone. I don't think I want SOS shell anymore. Let's put on interesting parry. I wish I knew what skills were called and I could find them easily. I want to look into the shield ability because I think it might massively increase our survivability. But I don't know what it was called, or even what range of this thing is in. So I just have to manually read every description in the entire game, looking for the word shield, which I think... ah! Damn it. Which at this point I would say is probably stronger than... plus 2 shields when the character's health falls below 50% once per battle. Solidifying. In the middle here. This feels like a very strong button to have access to. Instead of SOS Shell. Because shields block damage that you take altogether. Oh, base attack, we don't want that. Free aim, don't care about that. That's a forced equip because you're currently learning it. Let's AP on base attack. Powerful one turn. I guess this might be too much investment in base attack though. This warming up is pretty strong. Roulette is pretty strong. Yeah, I'm overall not sure if I want to have basic attack things equipped. I don't like these low health effects because I don't like low health risk reward mechanics in general, but I especially don't like them here where they're dependent on getting really specific amounts of health in a game where you get your whole bar deleted most of the time. Energizing parry is already equipped. Oh, I can add favorites. Okay. That's probably the answer. I need to go through and just carefully go through the whole list and just decide what my favorites are. And then I can... just give me a minute. This is such a fucking process and I have so many characters. Okay. This doesn't assuage all of my concerns with this system. Not even close. But, yes. Being able to favorite things and then sort by favorites does make it somewhat easier to have, like, these are the skills I would like to equip on most of the people. And it was a good, like, spring cleaning little moment to purge everyone of their currently equipped skills and then start over on equipping new things, because as I gradually increased everyone's Lumina points, I would occasionally just kind of grab whatever key they could afford at the time. Like, that sounds kind of nice, whatever. So these rows up here with the stars are the ones that I've favorited. So accelerating heal. If you heal somebody, you apply a rush. She specifically has a full team heal, so having all those people get rushed at the same time seems handy. Bonus counterattack damage, increased break damage, increased critical chance on burning enemies. Base attack has 1 extra hit. Some people have them, but not that many people. It's expensive. She doesn't. 50% increased break damage on counterattack. So I built a lot of it around, like, getting AP for stuff, counterattacks being stronger, people just generally being stronger. On death, give 4 AP to allies. I feel like this is a helpful little thing, because it's only 5 in cost. So it's not that pricey, but tougher fights do keep killing my guys, so having the remaining people then have the ability to cast whatever they want could be really helpful. 1 AP on jump attacks, on jump counterattack. Kind of niche. People don't do that many jump attacks in the attacks that enable jump counterattacks, so I'm iffy on this one, but is like another AP source that may be worth doing. Energizing parry, 1 AP on successful parry. Rewarding mark, 2 AP when dealing damage to a marked target once per turn. I'd mark people on purpose fairly often, so it's like gifting your teammate 2 AP, like moving it around instead of spending it, which is kind of nice. 100% critical when fighting alone and 50% more damage when fighting alone. Those are kind of for spending my leftover points because they only cost 1 and 3. And it doesn't hurt to have a little bonus at the last as a last stand mechanic to try to salvage a run that's going poorly. 3% health on parry. I'm iffy on this one. It's not very strong. 3% is really weak. If somebody does a full 5-hit combo and I parry all of it, I heal for 15% health. That's not a lot of health. But I'm like, yeah, maybe over the course of a fight, it's just kind of handy to just be healing slightly. I don't know. I'm iffy on this one. It's just, its number is so low. It feels like it's so weak. Even 5% would be like a little more understandable. Roulette, this is kind of the sleeper hit one. Based on the math I did earlier, and I hope is correct, a 50% chance to do either 50% more damage, either do 50% as much damage or 200% damage. I believe that mathematically evens out to being a net gain on damage on average, and it just straight up is why people constantly do 9999, I think. It is worth considering that the math might be fucked up, where even if my original math was correct on simple terms, the fact that we are capped at 9999 might mean that the damage lost from overflow might be fucking up the overall conversion chance there. I don't know. Hopefully we get to break 9999 at some point soon, because we hit that number so often that it's mundane at this point. Like, I remember playing Final Fantasy X back in the day and hitting 9999 every now and then and be like, whoa! Like, it's like a big, it's like, felt crazy whenever you hit a number that big. And then you did a limit break and you could do a higher number, and it's crazy. But it's like mundane how often we hit 9999. So hopefully they're going to let us break it in some way soon. Because genuinely, how the fuck do you fight some of these enemies that have millions of health if you can never do 10,000 damage or higher? What? Like, what do you even do with that then? +2 shields when a character's health drops low. It's unfortunately only once per battle, which is a bit of a bummer, but it does seem like a nice spike of survivability, potentially, because when an enemy's when they're being hacked away at, they're more likely to survive, because they genuinely just have to hit them 2 more times to get rid of the shields, and they don't get to just do so much damage your character goes down. Except that if they one-shot them, I think it might not trigger. And then, yeah, solo fighter, but warming up, 5% increased damage per turn, stacks up to 5 turns. I think that means that it stays at 25% for the rest of the fight. So it takes 5 turns to charge up, and then once it charges up, you're just permanently stronger. So it just seems like a strong thing to have equipped for big fights. Overall, I'm building my characters for boss fights and the challenges in the game, because the other fights you just kind of blitz through without having to try that hard. So building for that stuff isn't very worth it. Otherwise, I would use more things that make you stronger. Because, like, there are a bunch of attacks that make you do more damage on your first attack and stuff like that. And, like, a lot of those abilities would make farming or just random encounters more convenient. There's a lot of stuff that's only really useful for random encounters, because you just get to blitz these fights down mindlessly without having to try very hard. And those are reasonably powerful for that, but I don't really need help against random encounters that are not that powerful. I can just put the effort in of menuing, and I don't really want to optimize for random encounters. That seems stupid to me. I don't like that idea at all. Here's a question. Do the blue paint spikes respawn? No. Okay, that's good to know. That was a bit of a long explanation, but, well, I spent a fairly long time off camera micromanaging that too. Oof. That at least helped me. At least now, whenever a new Picto shows up, I can, like, I hopefully will catch them all when they have the new Picto notification, and then I can, like, try to curate whether or not they should be added to my favorites menu, and then I at least have a shorter list of ones that I'm, like, looking through. Because mentally I've already been there. Mentally I've already been prioritizing the ones I like. So it is nice to be able to keep track of those ones without having to read the entire list every time. Makes that whole system a bit more manageable. Dude, it's surreal how compact this first island is. I pointed out before, like, when we look back at it, it's surprisingly small, but damn. Am I stuck? Okay. Dude, this is weird. Ah! Oh, the portal's like invisible. Wow, I couldn't see it. Is it smaller? I wonder if it's really small because back then the portal was built for when I was on foot. Alright, so I've already revisited this place once to get a secret. And in the process of revisiting it back then, I remember that we saw a spike at that time. Was it down here? Yep. Yeah. 3 color of Lumina. Something up here, maybe? Another one. Does this go back to the beginning of the level? It goes way back. So I remember that one. I think that's the first one I saw, and I was like, that's weird. That looks like a weird pre-made asset that was just chunked in there. At the time, I was like, maybe they're recycling tile sets for how this place is navigable. I figured maybe the rooms are copy-pasted in like a Bloodborne Chalice dungeon sort of way, and they just, sometimes a game just really blatantly needs to block a hole with some kind of other asset so you can't go that way because they're not using that particular doorway in this placement. So I clocked that thing as looking really out of place, but I didn't know that it was going to be interactive necessarily. But at some point they showed up so much that they clearly became a thing that we're going to use all the time. Hey, it's the first guy. So you can attack him. You can attack all of them. Ah, and this is the one that threw me off. This is the flag for Expedition 81. But I saw it back then, and it just looked that barely as legible as an 8 because it's such a weird icon, and that's so clearly a 1 by comparison that I thought it just said 1. And since it was the beginning of the game... Oh, hello. Neat. I found one.
Well, that will help.
Aegis Revival, +1 shield on being revived. That's kinda good. Hang on a minute. When we're struggling. Add to favorites, maybe? How much does it cost? Only 5. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. I don't care about this exhaust thing, so let's unequip that. There, start memorizing that. Yeah, I'll add that to favorites. The problem when we're struggling is oftentimes that when you revive somebody, they just get killed immediately. So if they can have a shield, then they can withstand the hit. The problem, of course, being whether or not your opponent is a combo guy or not. Oh, this is the... Yeah, that's the first level. I never had to go back this far back yet. Yeah, the first level was this big trek into this place. Down there, I think I fought my first ever chromatic. Then I went up here into the blue area. Yeah. So we were trying to find the blue tree. Turquoise tree, whatever color they said. Blue-ish color name tree. This platforming all the way back. Water looks a little weird just stopping right there instead of flowing across the cliff. Do I gotta platform down. What's interesting here is that they gave me another reason to backtrack, but this one is extra optional. We've gotten a variety of upgrades in the main story. Like the esky mechanics that encourage you to backtrack in Metroidvania kind of ways, those ones are all tied to story moments. You have to beat a very specific boss, and then, oh, somebody walks over there and picks up a rock. It's one of Esky's rocks. Oh, Esky has a new power. Those are tied to story very directly. This one's tied to a collectible. They don't know when you're gonna catch 4 gestrels. I got jump scared by the 4th gestrel. I didn't know that that was going to happen then. And like, maybe I've missed a gestrel. I don't know if I've got them as quickly as possible or if there was one I missed that would have let me do this sooner. We are really backtracking right along this ledge. I wonder if it's going to be like an item right on a ledge that taunts you. Okay, that one also said 81, so the flags are definitely repeating sometimes. Do they repeat throughout the same zone? Do the ones in a given zone all have the same flag number? Or they change? I'm not sure. Was there anything to do here? This feels like it's just going all the way back to the beginning and then dropping me off. But that seems pointless. Huh. What was the point of any of that? It's one of the weird buildings we saw at the beginning. Freaky split statue. I'm trying to interpret the level design's intent right now. Why have a super long walkway all the way back to here? Is it just an arbitrary shorter way of backtracking to the level? Sorry if I'm wasting everyone's time, but you know, it's good to be curious, I guess, right? I'd be curious to know if maybe they're telling me that if I go back to the beginning, you can see that the time of day changes significantly when you go through here. They might be trying to communicate to me that I need to backtrack even further in this level for another secret. I don't know, it's weird that that was a very long cliff, and the end of the giant cliff wasn't at least an item, even some chroma. Like there was like platforming sections all along. It might be, that one also says 81. I don't normally go through a level fast enough to see all the flags back to back and tell what they say on them so consistently. So like it seems like most of the flags in the zone say 81, or all of them. Might just be a silly scenic run through the first episode's zone again. I'm just like, are they pointing me all the way back to the beginning for the purposes of finding another spike? Here's the upsetting Death Gauntlet room, where we fought the first shield-looking enemy. It's funny that the lighting in the rooms moves really quickly to like show you. They want the rooms to be lit in a certain way because it just makes things look right from their artistic intent, but they're cheating the lighting system to do that. So all of the lights have to move in order to enable that to work. Like the sun has to physically move to light the room differently. And they did it in system, but when you're backtracking and just sprinting through and not distracted, you can just see the lighting change in real time, which is really funny. Is this the beginning of the game? Not quite. I feel like I'm wasting my time, but it is actually kind of weird. It's kind of neat to come back here. This is where we're like introduced to enemies, basically. It'd be kind of cute to have one pillar at the very beginning of the game, even if there was a small reward. Fog is very strong. So this is where we woke up, right? Huh. Weird. Well, that's that, I guess. I am conveniently wrapping up my session for the day, so I'm just gonna go ahead and close this out. But next session might end with a bit of a clip show. I don't want to spend this long exploring every zone for like as far as the videos go, because that'd be hours. That'd be a bummer. But I do want to. I would like to use this skill correctly and grab all the stuff. So I'll probably just show the clips whenever I happen to find a blue spike. This was perplexing though. I really thought that level was going somewhere. I'm still like struck with the strange worry that like I did it wrong. Like I ran along that cliff wrong and didn't find what it was pointing at. But like it had all those bespoke climbing spots like this one. But then it just let me hop off a ledge at the end and just be in the normal level. I'm really perplexed by what it was going for there. Weird. Alright, see you next time.